Why did God choose you to suffer more? Why chosen men always suffer? Why me, God? Why God hates me? Why God hates you? Tell me, when did the world become so unbearably loud that your own heart had to whisper just to be heard? When did your laughter stop feeling like laughter and start sounding like survival? When did the nights grow longer than the days, and your pillow become the only witness of the storms you carry within? How many times have you stared at the ceiling, wide-eyed in the dark, asking a question that has no easy answer? Why me? Why must the kind be broken, while the cruel walk unharmed? Why does the one who gives endlessly end up empty, while the selfish overflow? Why does the honest man carry the cross of suffering, while the liar sleeps without nightmares? If you have ever sat in a room full of people and felt invisible, if you have ever reached out your hand in love, only to grasp air where someone once stood, if you have learned that silence listens better than people ever do, if you have felt your chest heavy with words you could never say, then listen closely, because this pain is not here to destroy you. This is not punishment. This is calling. Not everyone is chosen to carry the weight of fire. Not everyone is chosen to walk into storms and return as lightning. Not everyone is asked to bleed, to break, to bend, and still stand tall. But you were. And if these words have reached you today, understand this. It is not chance. It is not coincidence. It is the universe whispering, "You are the one He chose." Hear me, God does not place weight on empty shoulders. He does not waste suffering. He does not give the heaviest stones to the weakest hands. He gives them to those He knows will endure, to those who will rise, to those who will carve rivers out of mountains with their tears. You were not chosen because you are weak. You were chosen because even in weakness you carry strength others cannot comprehend. Because where they would have surrendered, you will endure. Where they would have drowned, you will walk on water. Where they would have cursed the heavens, you will turn your wounds into prayers. This is why it was not them. It could never be them, because they would have fallen apart. But you will turn your scars into scriptures, your loneliness into lanterns, your pain into prophecy. So stop asking, why me? Start asking, what now? What does He want from me? What fire am I meant to light in this darkness? For the truth is this: you were never abandoned. You were entrusted with trials that would destroy another man, but will awaken a God within you. Entrusted with suffering, not as chains, but as keys, to unlock a strength that has always slept inside you. So when the world grows louder, let your silence roar. When your heart whispers, let it speak in thunder. And when they ask why you smile after everything you've endured, you will answer with the simplest truth of all: because I was chosen. And now, let me tell you why. He chose you, what He demands of you, and why it was never meant to be them. Fire creates steel. Steel is not born strong. Steel is not born powerful. It begins ordinary, soft, fragile, vulnerable, no different from the metals around it. But then it is chosen for the fire. And once chosen, it can never go back to being ordinary. The fire consumes it. The flames surround it. The heat is unbearable. And if steel had a voice, it would cry out, "Why me? Why must I burn when others remain untouched?" And maybe you have asked the same. Why betrayal? Why loss? Why loneliness? Why pain? Why are you the one carrying wounds while others laugh so easily? Why do you bleed quietly while the world celebrates loudly? Listen carefully. The fire is not there to destroy you, it is there to define you. The furnace is not punishment, it is transformation. Because in the fire, what cannot last will not last. Your fear, it melts. Your need for approval, burned away. Your habit of pleasing everyone at the cost of yourself, reduced to ashes. Your dependence on those who abandoned you, gone with the smoke. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels cruel. Yes, it makes you scream at the sky. But every scream is part of the shaping. Every tear is part of the cleansing. Every scar is part of the story. When the fire finally settles, what remains is not weakness, it is essence. Your essence, pure, solid, unshakable. The truth is simple. Steel cannot be bent by the same fire that forged it. Once it has survived the flames, no heat, no blade, no storm can break it again. And that, my friend, is why he chose you. Because he knew the fire would not destroy you, it would reveal you. Because he knew the flames that consumed another man would only strengthen you. Because he knew you could survive the heat and still keep your heart alive. This world does not need more fragile men who collapse at the first sign of pain. This world does not need empty souls afraid of the furnace. This world needs steel, unbreakable, unmovable, unstoppable, and steel is born only one way through fire. Remember this, fire does not come to the ordinary. Fire comes only to the chosen. And if you are burning right now, it is because you were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to be steel. 2. Greatness is not born in comfort. Comfort is sweet, but it is also dangerous. Comfort grows habits, but struggle grows character. Comfort gives you pleasure, but struggle gives you power. A life without resistance may give you convenience, but it will never give you capacity. Because a man who never struggles, never sweats, never cries, he may live easily, but he will never live greatly. That is why, while others rest, you wrestle. While others celebrate, you grind. While others are praised, you are pressed. Because God does not waste his strongest battles on those who choose the couch, he gives them to those he is building into warriors. Do you know why you feel pressure while others receive applause? Because applause is enough for them, but pressure is necessary for you. Pressure is weight. Pressure is resistance. And resistance is what builds muscle. Not muscle of the body, but muscle of the soul. The patience to wait when waiting feels like death. The courage to act when fear tells you to hide. The discipline to remain calm when everything around you screams, panic. The wisdom to hold your silence when anger wants you to explode. The endurance to keep walking when your legs beg you to stop. This is why your path looks so different. Others live with comfort, but you live with questions, with trials, with fires inside your chest. And sometimes you envy them, don't you? Sometimes you look at their smiles and wonder, why can't I have it easy too? But listen, he didn't choose them because comfort is enough for their journey. Their mountain is small. Their mission is ordinary. Their destiny is limited. But your journey is higher. Your calling is greater. And greatness is never born in comfort. A seed cannot grow unless it is buried. A sailor cannot lead unless he has faced storms. A diamond cannot shine unless it has endured pressure. And you cannot rise unless you have been tested in ways others have never known. So do not despise your struggle. Do not curse your pressure. For every hardship is a hammer shaping your strength. Every resistance is a chisel carving your greatness. And when the day comes, when your moment arrives, you will see it clearly. The comfort they had only made them soft. But the pressure you carried made you strong enough to climb where they could never reach. This is why he did not choose them. This is why he chose you. Because comfort would have killed your greatness, but struggle is building your crown. 3. Pain teaches compassion. The man who has tasted sorrow can recognize it in another's eyes without a word spoken, without a tear shed. He knows the language of silence. He knows the weight behind a forced smile. He knows the difference between laughter and survival. Your suffering has given you this vision. It has softened your judgments and deepened your listening. It has taken you out of the shallow waters of pride and pushed you into the ocean of empathy. Before pain, you may have spoken to impress. Before pain, you may have listened only to reply. But after pain, your words change. They no longer come to shine your ego, they come to heal someone else's wound. They no longer seek applause, they seek to lift the broken. And this, my friend, is the reason he allowed you to bleed. Not because he wanted your destruction, but because he wanted your heart to become a shelter, a place where the weary could rest, a place where the forgotten could feel seen, a place where broken people could remember their worth. Think of it, how would you know the right words for the suffering if you had never suffered? How would you recognize the drowning if you had never gasped for air? How would you offer a hand to the fallen if you had never struggled to rise? Pain carved your heart into something larger than itself. Pain stretched your soul until it could hold not just your burdens, but the burdens of others. Pain taught you to see what comfort could never reveal. And now, when someone sits across from you, wearing the mask of strength but holding back a storm, you will know. You will hear the words they cannot say. You will notice the tears they refuse to cry. You will recognize the ache they hide. Because you have been there, you have bled, you have cried until your chest collapsed. You have whispered to God in the darkness, asking if anyone heard you. And now you are the answer to someone else's prayer. This is why he chose you, not just to survive your pain, but to use it, to let it transform you, to let it become a bridge between you and every broken soul you will meet. The cruel man mocks what he has never felt, but the compassionate man heals what he once endured. Your wounds are not shame, your wounds are wisdom, and when you speak, it will not be hollow. It will carry weight, it will carry truth, it will carry healing. This is why pain was placed in your path, because he wanted you to be more than strong. He wanted you to be kind. Wir, loneliness awakens truth. In crowds you perform. In solitude you become. Among people you wear the masks they demand. You laugh when you want to cry. You nod when you want to scream. You play roles just to belong. But alone there are no roles. There are no masks. There is only you, and the truth you've been avoiding. This is why God pulls you out of the crowd. Why he removes the voices. Why he takes away the noise. Because the noise was drowning the signal, and the signal was him. The whisper inside you, the intuition you kept silencing, the path you knew was yours but you were too afraid to walk. Loneliness feels cruel, but it is not cruelty. It is calibration. He isolates you to align you, to align your desires with your destiny, to align your choices with your calling, to strip away every lie until only your essence remains. And yes, loneliness feels like death. It feels like emptiness. It feels like depression. Like drowning inside your own chest. But depression is not your identity, it is your cocoon. It is the dark space before the wings. It is the silence before the song. It is the burial before the resurrection. No butterfly escapes without solitude. No prophet rises without isolation. No man becomes himself without first facing himself. So do not curse the silence. Do not fear the stillness, for loneliness is not your prison, it is your preparation. The emptiness you feel is not proof you are forgotten. It is proof you are being transformed. 5. Rejection is proof of direction. Rejection cuts deep. It bruises the ego. It feels like betrayal, like loss, like failure. But rejection is not always against you sometimes. It is for you. When people leave, when doors close, when opportunities vanish, it is not always loss. Sometimes it is guidance. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is redirection. Think of this. If every person you loved stayed, you would never know who was true. If every door opened, you would wander endlessly with no clarity. But rejection narrows the path. It forces you to see clearly. It removes what cannot go with you. God edits your life story with rejection. He takes out the characters who do not belong in the next chapter. He shuts the doors that lead to destruction. He says no where you would have destroyed yourself with a yes. Rejection is not evidence of your worthlessness. It is evidence of His plan. He did not choose them to reject you. He chose rejection to redirect you. So when someone walks away, let them. When a door slams, thank it. For rejection is not a wall, it is a compass. Every no points you closer to your true calling. Every closed door is proof that another, higher door waits to open. Rejection is not the end of your path. It is the turning point of your destiny. 6. Heavy burdens for trusted shoulders. God does not assign weight at random. He assigns it according to strength. And if your shoulders ache under a heavier load, it is not because you are cursed, it is because you are trusted. The man with the lighter burden is not blessed more, he is tasked with less. His mountain is smaller, his crown is lighter, his mission is ordinary. But you carry more because your mission is greater. Your influence will be wider. Your message will be deeper. Your impact will outlast you. So your training must be harder. This is why your nights are darker, your storms harsher, your path lonelier. Because fragile men cannot carry what you are meant to carry. Because shallow souls cannot hold the depth you are meant to hold. Because weak backs would collapse under the crown that was built for you. Others were not chosen because the mission would crush them. The same weight that bends you would have broken them. The same storms that trained you would have drowned them. The same fire that forged you would have consumed them. But you were chosen because He saw in you a strength you didn't know you had. He trusted you with the burden because He trusted you with the crown. He trusted you with the cross because He trusted you with the message. He trusted you with the weight because He trusted you with the victory. So remember, the heavier the burden, the higher the calling. The sharper the pain, the greater the purpose. The deeper the wounds, the brighter the light that will shine through them. Do not curse your load. It is not proof of His absence. It is proof of His trust. For the very burden that bends you today will one day be the crown that lifts you above them all. 7. Suffering builds unshakable faith. Faith is not something you inherit. It is something carved into you by storms. When the ground beneath your feet shatters, when every door you knock on stays locked, when the people you trusted most disappear into shadows, faith begins to speak. It does not shout, it does not argue, it whispers. And its whisper is stronger than the loudest fear. Keep going. You see, God allows your suffering not to make you fragile, but to make you fearless. He lets the waves rise so high that you are certain you will drown, only for you to discover that even in the middle of the sea, you are still floating. Faith is not believing that life will be easy. It is knowing that even if it isn't, you will still stand. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to walk anyway. That is why He chose you. Because your faith once tested in fire, will not just guide your steps, it will light the path for others walking in darkness. Others break when abandoned. Others collapse when rejected. Others curse the silence. But you will learn to call the silence holy. You will learn to see the storm as teacher. You will learn that faith is not a crutch, but a crown. And when you wear it, others will know that God's chosen are unshakable. Utter struggle distills wisdom. Wisdom is not found in books, lectures, or clever speeches. It is distilled in the furnace of pain. Every scar on your body, every sleepless night, every betrayal you thought would kill you, those were not accidents. They were ingredients. Your failures are lessons written in blood. Your heartbreaks are verses written in tears. And one day, someone who is drowning will hear your voice and realize, he knows my pain, he has lived it. That is why God allowed your struggle. Because struggle transforms knowledge into wisdom. And wisdom is not about sounding intelligent, it is about speaking in a way that pierces hearts. You won't speak to impress, you will speak to heal. You won't lecture people with theories. You will guide them with scars. Because scars speak a language the unbroken cannot, and the world is full of advice but starving for truth. Your suffering made you fluent in that truth. This is why he chose you. Because you will not give people empty words. You will give them living proof. 9. Preparation for a higher calling. Do not confuse silence with absence. When heaven is quiet, it is not because God has forgotten you, it is because he is preparing you. He hides you, he delays you, he restrains you not to punish, but to protect. Because a stage without preparation will kill the unready. So, while others enjoy applause, you endure obscurity. While others get recognition, you get refining. While others are celebrated, you are corrected. You think you are being delayed, but you are being sharpened. You think you are being denied, but you are being designed. Because the blessing you prayed for is heavy. It is not cheap, it is not small. And if he gave it too early, it would crush you instead of crown you. So he molds your patience, strengthens your humility, purifies your motives. He makes sure that when the door opens, you are not just able to step through, you are able to stay there. Because some people rise fast and fall faster. But your rise will be different. It will last. That is why he chose you. Because your mission is not a moment, it is a lifetime. Yes, your survival is someone else's permission. You may not see it, but someone is watching you right now. Not with likes, not with applause, but with silent desperation. Someone is on the edge, ready to give up. Someone is praying for a sign that life is still worth living. Someone is whispering in their heart, God, show me a reason to stay. And do you know what God gives them? He gives them you. Your survival becomes their sign. Your refusal to quit becomes their permission to try again. Your story is not just your story, it is medicine for someone else. Every scar on your soul will one day serve as a roadmap for someone wandering in the same wilderness. You are not surviving for yourself. You are surviving for the stranger you may never meet, whose life will be saved by your endurance. This is why he allowed your survival, because he wanted your life to echo hope in the ears of the hopeless. He chose you to be a lighthouse, battered by storms, surrounded by waves, yet still standing. Because when others see you, they will realize, if he can survive, maybe I can too. 11. Purification of the soul. Gold does not argue with the fire it surrenders. Because the fire is not its enemy, it is its destiny. And so it is with you. The fire of suffering does not come to destroy you, it comes to purify you. Every mask you wear, every false identity, every fragile ego, it all melts in the flames. Comparison burns away. Pride is consumed. Pretension dissolves. And what is left is essence. The truest you. The soul without costume. The heart without disguise. That is what God wanted all along. Not the version of you that the world applauds, but the version of you that is real, raw, radiant, eternal. Because purity carries a power that words cannot. A purified soul doesn't need to argue, doesn't need to shout, doesn't need to demand respect. Its presence speaks louder than its voice. When people meet you, they won't just hear you, they will feel you. They will feel truth, they will feel peace, they will feel God shining through you. That is why He chose you. Not to make you popular, not to decorate you with applause, but to purify you until your very being becomes a testimony. Remember this, your suffering is not random. It is not an accident. It is not chaos. It is a design. It is a preparation. It is a sacred sign that God has placed His hand upon you. The storms you face are not there to crush you. They are there to carve you. They are chiseling away the weaker parts, burning away the illusions, and awakening the strength that you never knew you carried. The loneliness you feel is not punishment, it is training. Because in the silence of solitude, you begin to hear the whispers of eternity that are drowned out by the noise of the crowd. And the pain you carry it is not a curse. It is proof. Proof that heaven trusted you enough to bear the weight that others could not. So stop asking, why me? That question belongs to those who do not yet understand the privilege of being chosen. The real question is this: will I trust the plan? Will I trust the fire that refines me? Will I trust the silence that shapes me? Will I trust the delays that prepare me? Will I trust the losses that redirect me? Because if you can trust it, if you can surrender when your mind screams for control, if you can keep walking when your body begs to quit, if you can rise again after being broken, then you will unlock the secret that most men will never know. That suffering is not the end. It is the doorway through which God leads His chosen into greatness. And only those who pass through it discover who they truly are. So listen to me, your tears are not wasted. Your scars are not shame. Your nights of crying into the pillow were not unseen. Heaven was watching. Heaven was recording. Heaven was writing a story with your pain. And that story will not end in defeat. It will end in destiny. So if these words burn inside your chest, if you feel the truth echoing in your soul, then write it below. Declare it. Let the world see it. Now I accept my God's plan. Say it with your lips. Repeat it with your heart. Engrave it into your spirit. Let it rise every time you want to quit. Let it be your anchor when storms roar. Let it be your shield when rejection stings. Let it be your crown when you finally rise. Because from this moment forward, you are not broken. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Chosen to carry the weight. Chosen to walk the path. Chosen to show the world that pain can become power and suffering can become light. And when you say it, when you own it, heaven itself will echo back, yes, this one is mine.